Hello, this is Corey Lancaster with the Lancaster team of X-Right Realty with another episode of About Your Business. This is a video to kind of give some tips and tricks to agents out there who might be interested, just to get some knowledge out there. In today's topic, we want to talk about internet leads. Okay, agents hate internet leads. I hear it all the time. Zillow's killing us. All these internet leads, they're crap. They don't do anything. We can't convert them. They're not looking to buy right now. All of these excuses, that's what I call them, excuses why agents aren't successful in converting internet leads. There's some things you need to know about internet leads. One is when people come in, let's say buyers, we're going to talk about buyers for today's discussion, but when buyers come in as an internet lead, typically they are not interested in talking to a realtor. What? Really? Yes, that is true. They do not want to talk to us. They want to just get information. They typically the average internet lead who comes in as a buyer is probably not looking for 6, 12, 18 months down the line. That's not all of them, but a good majority of them are just kind of starting to get educated on the home buying process. They don't want to be sold by a realtor, so they don't want to talk to us. So that's probably why you feel the way you feel when you call them up and they tell you, "Hey, I was just Google searching around, and I signed up for this site, and I know your heart should just sink because you just thought that person was going to be looking to buy today, but that was not the case, was it? That's all right. That's all right. That's why we're having this discussion, so you can kind of learn and understand how it kind of works, what you need to do, what you need to know. So the first thing you need to do when the internet lead comes in is you need to call them. Yes, big surprise. I think it was one stat by the National Association of Realtors said something like only like 50% of internet leads even get called at all. That's amazing to me. So people are paying their money or they're spending time, marketing their websites or whatever they may be doing, and they're not even calling the leads. 50%. That's a crazy number. That's a crazy number. The second thing you need to know about when that lead comes in is you need to be calling them ASAP, speed to lead, as we call it in the business, which means you need to call that lead within 5 minutes of them registering on your site. There was an interesting MIT study done that showed a graph, and I don't have the graph to pull up here, but it was amazing. And the first 5 minutes, if you responded in the first 5 minutes, let's just give it a score. Let's say you would have a 100% score if you responded to that lead within 5 minutes of getting them on the phone and getting them qualified. Okay, if it went down to just 15 minutes, you would probably have a score of something like 25. That's how much difference it is from 5 minutes to 15 minutes response time. And if you go down to an hour, let's say you get a score of like 7. Okay, so as you can see through that study is speed to lead. You got to be calling these leads quickly while they're online, while they're interested in the real estate, buying a home, or selling a home, even for that matter. But you got to respond to them quickly. Okay, keep in mind you're not the only site they're probably registering on. They're probably at that day and time they're probably registering on 2 or 3 sites at the same time. Okay, so they're not going to remember your site when you call them. So don't be disappointed, and don't die because they don't remember. I'm the master realtor of Maryland.com. They're like, who's that? They don't register like 5 different sites. Okay, so don't be alarmed. You don't care. You just want to have a conversation with them. Okay, so let's say you make that call, you get them on the phone. What do you say? The most popular script, or the most, I don't want to call it a script per se, but the most popular framework for having a conversation with a prospect is LP Mama. Okay, it stands for location, price, motivation. Okay, whether they're working with an agent, mortgage, have they been pre-approved, and lastly is appointment. Okay, it's a great one. Somewhat recently, I learned of another one that's a little bit different variation that I like. It's called LM Papa. I'm a dad, so I like Papa better. So same thing, pretty much though. But L is for location, M is for motivation, P is for price, A is for ability slash mortgage. Okay, P is for previous commitments, and lastly, A is for appointment. You got to set the appointment. Okay, so let's kind of run through this really quick. Location. So you call someone registered. You call them up. Thank you for registering on my website. I see you're looking for properties in Bowie. Is that the only area you've been looking at? You want to kind of get an idea as to what areas they're kind of interested in. You're also building some rapport with them. Okay. The M for motivation. You want to ask them, hey, if you had a magic wand, how soon would you like to be into this house in Bowie? Would that be 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? Just want to see kind of what their response is. If they say, I'm thinking about 6 months, you might want to say something like, "Oh, okay, 6 months. Is that because you have a lease, or do you have a house to sell, and you just need some time to get the house ready for sale?" Most realtors do not ask that on the buyer leads, whether the person has a home to sell. That's very important, right? Because we want to get those listings as well. So you want to ask that question. If they say something like 12 months out or so, you can also say, hey, that's great. 12 months is fine. But let me ask you something. I'm just curious. What's happening in 12 months that you're waiting 12 months? Is there any particular reason why you want to wait 12 months versus buying now? To kind of get an idea about what their motivation is. A lot of times they may say, well, I'm working on my credit or something of that nature. But you kind of want to get that feel for that. Okay. Next, we want to talk about price, right? LMP, right? P for price. You want to ask them, hey, it looks like the properties you're looking at were about 200,000. Is that the price point you're looking at, or is there a different price point you've been thinking about or looking at? Okay. Um, Once they give you an answer, it's a good segue into the next letter, which is A, ability, which is can they get a mortgage or do they have cash? Right. So once you find out, hey, yeah, I've been looking at like 200,000, 300,000 to 400,000, for example. It's okay, great. That's great. Let me ask you something. Did you already start working with a great loan officer to come up with that number, or did you maybe get that number from doing one of those financial calculators on the internet, which we know are never accurate? But anyhow, you ask them that question to try to draw out have they started talking to a lender yet, right? You're still just building that rapport and nice general way to kind of ease into it so they're not feeling like that they're being sold. Okay, you're just trying to have casual conversation with them. Okay, so once you find out if they've been pre-approved or if they got cash, you always follow up with that question too. You're gonna be paying, you gonna be getting financing, or you gonna be paying all cash. Okay, you might not want to assume that they're getting a mortgage. It brings us to the next A, which is I'm sorry, the next P, which is previous commitment. Are they working with another agent? So you don't want to just come out with, hey, are you currently do you have a buyer's agreement with another agent? Okay, or are you currently working? I hate the one. Are you currently working with another agent? Okay, because to the buyer, working with another agent means a lot of different things. Working with an agent can be agents has just been sending them emails, right? So they don't quite know what you're really talking about when you say, "Are you working with an agent?" You really want to know, do they have a buyer's agreement? So how you would lead into that is you would say something to the effect, hey, let me ask you something. Have you guys been out taking a look at, have you guys actually been in any properties yet? If they say no, say great. Don't worry, we're gonna fix that. We're gonna get you start looking at some properties. If they say yes, then you follow up with something to the level of, oh, okay. Have you been to a lot of open houses, or has an agent been taking two properties to get you in? If they say open houses, that's great. Okay, if they say, yeah, we had an agent that kind of took us through a few houses, then your next follow-up question at that point would then be, oh, that's great. That's great. You had an agent show you your homes. Are you committed to that agent? Okay. Not saying if you have a buyer's agreement with them or not yet. You're just saying, are they committed to them? Okay. Um, and let that kind of come out if they have a buyer's agreement. If they say, yeah, they are committed to them, then you just leave it alone. Just say, hey, it was good talking to you. You find a nice way to get off the phone because that's not a lead for you anymore, right? If they say, well, no, I'm not really committed to them. They showed me a couple properties, but I didn't sign anything with them, and I'm not committed to them necessarily. And you say, oh, great. So that means you are open to working with another real estate agent like myself. If you find that we're a good fit, if they say yes, hey, you go at it. Okay. If so that's pretty much it. So that's kind of the sequence of conversation you want to have to find out if they're working with another agent or not. Don't just ask them, are you working with another agent? Okay. And then the last one is you want to close for an appointment. So if they're saying that they haven't seen any properties, or if they say they're not committed to someone maybe who showed them properties, you want to go in for the appointment. And you say, hey, listen, I think I got a pretty good idea as to what you guys are looking for. I would love to now put together some properties I think would be a good fit for you. And all we need to do is schedule some time, come by the office, so I can go over some of the process of buying a home, and then we can go start taking a look at properties. Okay, don't say I need you to come in to sign a buyer's agreement. You don't call it buyer's agreement anyway. You call it paperwork, okay? But you want to just kind of talk to them about coming in, going over the home buying process. I'm gonna prepare some properties that we can kind of take a look at. You should always be closing. What is ABC in real estate? Always be closing. So you need to try to get some appointments once you got them on the phone. All right. Lastly, I want to talk about is what if you don't catch them on the phone? Okay, you need to have a systematic follow-up plan. Okay, not I'm gonna write on this piece of paper, I'm gonna write on a calendar, or I'm gonna put a reminder in my phone one time. You need to have a CRM that's going to remind you constantly to keep following up with that particular prospect. Okay, and you need to mix it up. You need to make calls, you need to send text messages. Text messages are really big these days, and getting response, because that's how a lot of people, especially millennials, they like to communicate. And you need to send emails. You need to be doing all three of them. Hopefully, your website has kind of a drip campaign, at least for sending out properties on an automatic basis. But you need to have a systematic way of following up, and you need to mix up the form of a medium to have those conversations. Okay, and then lastly, you have to keep calling them. Okay, I think the stat was like most agents that out of the 50% of agents that do call, I think only like 50% of them only call once. Okay. And then maybe another, 25% call twice. Okay. I think that the NAR, I think, or some stat that I heard, I think it said you got to call between like 7 and 12 times before you get them on the phone. Okay. So you need to constantly be calling, especially when they first come in. You need to have a plan to continuously give them a call or reach out to them in some form, whether it's text, email, or a phone call, to get them on the phone. That is it. That's all I have for you today. I hope this has been helpful to someone. I'm interested in educating realtors and getting them the education they need to be successful. I operate under I operate under the premise that there's enough business out here for everybody. Okay, there is no scarcity. Okay, there's just abundance. So I don't mind sharing these tips. If you know anyone who might be interested in hearing this, please forward it on. Give me a call anytime. I can always be reached on my cell phone, 240-988-3173. If you click the button down below, if you want to find out more about my team or my brokerage, feel free to click on the button below, and you'll be able to get that information. All right. Have a good one now. See you out there selling some homes.